YouTube action. And yes, that's a very good idea too. It sounds like we got it.
Way to go. Craig getting gooder and gooder.
All right. And I'm just double checking and making sure. Done, 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 and done. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We are so glad to have you here on day 7 of Mastering the Science of Getting Rich. And Robert and I were kind of a little talking before we got on this YouTube stream and on this Zoom. Uh, you know, there's so much about this book that is incredible, and there's so much about life that is incredible. But this particular chapter, it says so much about how we should lead our lives, how we should move forward, and how we should interact with people, giving praise and recognition. Okay? We can wallow in whatever we want, but you know what? We need to be in an attitude of gratitude in order for everything to move forward. And so today on Mastering the Science of Getting Rich, it's chapter 7. It is one of the main 3 in that incredible combination of 4, 14, and 7. We still have to get to 14, but we're at 7 right now because remember, according to Wallace Wattles, this is the logical sequence that we are in. So again, today in Mastering the Science of Getting Rich, chapter 7, gratitude. And to help us get things going about gratitude, let us welcome our host, our friend, our mentor, our guide to Mastering the Science of Getting Rich. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Robert Hollis!
I love Sandy's little girl there is like putting her hand over her ears, like, what's wrong with this thing? It's like, well, thank you very much, Craig. And for some of you that watched my live today on Facebook, it was, it was like me just saying, what gratitude really is. So we get to cover it here. And I'm going to go directly into this chapter and don't have anything but getting right to the point. These things have been amazing. I don't know how they keep getting better and better. And Craig's making a deal that this will also be one of the best ones we do. So let's get started here.
Chapter 7, Gratitude. The illustrations given in the last chapter will have conveyed to the reader the fact that the first step toward getting rich is to convey the idea of your wants to the formless substance. This is true, and you will see that in order to do so, it becomes necessary to relate yourself to the formless intelligence in a harmonious way. To secure this harmonious relation is a matter of such primary and vital importance that I shall give some space to its discussion here and give you instructions which, if you will follow them, will be certain to bring you into perfect unity of mind with God. The whole process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. First, you believe that there is one intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Second, you believe that this substance gives you everything you desire. And third, you relate yourself to it by a feeling of deep and profound gratitude. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. Having received one gift from God, they cut the wires which connect them with Him by failing to make acknowledgement. It is easy to understand that the nearer we live to the source of wealth, the more wealth we shall receive. And it is easy also to understand that the soul that is always grateful lives in closer touch with God than the one which never looks to him in thankful acknowledgement. The more gratefully we fix our minds on the Supreme when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive, and the more rapidly they will come. And the reason simply is that the mental attitude of gratitude draws the mind into closer touch with the source from which the blessings come. If it is a new thought to you that gratitude brings your whole mind into closer harmony with the creative energies of the universe, consider it well, and you will see that it is true. The good things you already have come to you along the line of obedience to certain laws. Gratitude will lead your mind out along the ways by which things come, and it will keep you in close harmony with creative thought and prevent you from falling into competitive thought. Gratitude alone can keep you looking toward the all and prevent you from falling into the error of thinking of the supply as limited. And to do that would be fatal to your hopes. There is a law of gratitude, and it is absolutely necessary that you should always observe the law if you are to get the results you seek. The law of gratitude is the natural principle that action and reaction are always equal and in opposite directions. The grateful outreaching of your mind in thankful praise to the Supreme is a liberation or expenditure of force. It cannot fail to reach that to which it addressed, and the reaction is an instantaneous movement towards you. Draw nigh unto God, and he will draw nigh unto you. That is a statement of psychological truth. And if your gratitude is strong and constant, the reaction in formless substance will be strong and continuous. The movement of the things you want will be always toward you. Notice the grateful attitude that Jesus took, how he always seems to be saying, I thank thee, Father, that thou hearest me. You cannot exercise much power without gratitude, for it is gratitude that keeps you connected with power. But the value of gratitude does not consist solely in getting you more blessings in the future. Without gratitude, you cannot long keep from dissatisfied thought regarding things as they are. The moment you permit your mind to dwell with dissatisfaction upon things as they are, you begin to lose ground. You fix attention upon the common, the ordinary, the poor, and the squalid and mean, and your mind takes the form of these things. Then you will transmit these forms or mental images to the formless, and the common, the poor, the squalid, and mean will come to you. To permit your mind to dwell upon the inferior is to become inferior, and to surround yourself with inferior things. On the other hand, to fix your attention on the best is to surround yourself with the best and to become the best. The creative power within us makes us into the image of that to which we give our attention. We are thinking substance, and thinking substance always takes the form of that which it thinks about. The grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the best. Therefore, it tends to become the best. It takes the form or character of the best and will receive the best. Also, faith is born of gratitude. The grateful mind continually expects good things, and expectation becomes faith. The reaction of gratitude upon one's own mind produces faith, and every outgoing wave of grateful thanksgiving increases faith. He who has no feeling of gratitude cannot long retain a living faith, and without a living faith, you cannot get rich by the creative method, as we shall see in the following chapters. It is necessary then to cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Do not waste time thinking or talking about the shortcomings or wrong actions of plutocrats or trust magnates. Their organization of the world has made your opportunity. All you get really comes to you because of them. Do not rage against corrupt politicians. If it were not for politicians, we should fall into anarchy, and your opportunity would be greatly lessened. God has worked a long time and very patiently to bring us up to where we are in industry and government, and He is going right on with His work. There is not the least doubt that He will do away with plutocrats, trust magnates, captains of industry, and politicians as soon as they can be spared. But in the meantime, behold, they are all very good. Remember that they are all helping to arrange the lines of transmission along which your riches will come to you, and be grateful to them all. This will bring you into harmonious relations with the good in everything, and the good in everything will move toward you. Chapter 8.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, when I read this chapter, it's like, I don't want to be grateful for everything. I got some people that I have a beef with. You know what I mean? And if you guys just knew my childhood, I have the right to be mad at these people. Are you guys following me? So I can be grateful for the things that I like, but I don't need to be grateful for the rest of it. I need to complain about it. And so I think it's really interesting in this chapter where it said, and not the words exactly, but in this chapter, why it's the last of the three is because it describes in detail that it is impossible to achieve wealth in the creative way without gratitude. Interesting, huh? Do you guys know of any people that sometimes sound ungrateful? Like they can never shut up about how ungrateful they are? And it's everything, isn't it? It's everything. And when you really understand this part, that's when you understand why the world and why the people are like they are. It is just so obvious that if you get up all day, every day, complain, and everything sucks, and everything's wrong, and only if someone would take care of me, and you're constantly, it's never good enough, right? That why would your life be okay? So I'm going to share two more things that are pretty deep. Really, really, really deep. Isn't it amazing sometimes when you get to see someone again that gets an award and something comes out of their mouth that's so in key what we're talking about right now? Example, Michael Jordan, when he one time won the most valuable player. When he got the award, in his speech, he said, I can't tell you how grateful I am and how thankful I am to get this. And one of the people that I want to thank is Larry Bird. So he played for the Chicago Bulls, and Larry Bird paid for the opposing team. And 1 year that Michael Jordan thought he should have got the MVP, Larry Bird got it. And he said, because Larry Bird worked so hard and always worked on offense and defense, that he understood that he needed to be a well-rounded player. And he thanked the person that was his number one competitor. How many people think that when you win, the first people that you'll think are the people that were the worst struggles for you? Because they pushed you. So an example, isn't it amazing that Steve Jobs talks about connecting the dots after you go by them, right? So it's easy to look in the past and go, wow, that was a blessing. It wasn't at the time. So awful, awful, awful things that happened to you in the past are things that you should be grateful for. Ooh. So I'm sitting with my mentor and I go through this thing, and it was probably one of the most emotional things that's ever happened to me, in the top 5. And we're supposed to write down the people that we resent, that we hate, that they did all these awful things. And we're supposed to write them out on paper. So you're supposed to say, I resent you, or I hate you, and fill in the blank, just empty your mind and just do it all. Then he asked us all to step up. This was a 5-day seminar. And he said, pick a partner. And I want you to pretend and visualize that this is the person that you're going to vent to. And I couldn't emotionally get into that because of all, the resentment of my mom and dad, and them not really, honestly, not being the parents they needed to be, where the government took me away from them. And I get raised up in these foster homes, one after another. And so, man, I got some reason to be pissed off. My father was very physically abusive, verbal abusive, and I was just a kid. And then my mom didn't protect me. That's why they took me away. They said my mom didn't have the brains to protect me from my father. So that's why I couldn't stay with her either. And so I got a lot of bad things stored up here, right? And so I get with this person and I start telling them, listen, I resent you because of this, and I resent you because of this. And out of nowhere, Bill Gould grabbed me and got in my face and started cussing and telling me how awful of a person I was, that I would never amount to anything. And I don't know if he knew that I was a black belt in martial arts. So that didn't go very good for him right away. So I not only went crazy, but I threw him up against the wall and his feet was off the ground. And I had two pretty good sized guys that were trying to pull me away. And I just had so much knowledge in my head that it didn't take long for me to get rid of their stuff. And no one could pull me off of him. And he just stepped in my face. And all of a sudden I got in this emotional rage where I really started going crazy. And all of a sudden, when I dumped it all and I got it all out and everything got calmed down, I turned around and there's like 400 people that were in total silence watching me do this. So it was crazy enough where it interrupted everybody else in the room. So now we go outside and we crumble these things up and we throw them in a fire. And you guys, I fell down and cried. And I cried for frickin' hours. Hours. All from the time so I'm 27 years old. And I got a rap sheet that is so awful. And the number one thing that I used to get arrested for was assault and battery. because I was the guy that was sitting around in the nightclub, looking for bullies. And if I seen anyone being a bully to another person or saying things that they shouldn't to their girlfriend or their spouse, it was going to get bad. So I was a really good fighter. And what was crazy is I never could understand that when a guy was going off on his girlfriend or his wife, and then I got in his face enough to make him throw the first swing and started beating him up, I got this girlfriend or this wife on my back pulling my hair and scratching me when I'm defending her. I never quite figured that one out, but I think I understand it now. So now here comes the next part of the exercise. Cry for hours, 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 hours. This is probably, for those of you that think you've been through trainings, I think this training started like 8 in the morning. This must have been like 3:30 at night. 3:30 a.m. So 8 to 3 a.m. And they did it on purpose because it was a part of being sleep deprivation, that you started dropping some of your stuff. You know what I mean? You became very emotionally there. And now we came in and he goes, okay, he says, thank you guys for going through that exercise. Now open your notebook to the page that you are on. And I need you to write the following statements. Okay, so all the people that you resent, I want you to put, Dad, thank you for being the way you were to me, because it made me the person I am today. And it was supposed to follow every line. So you know I just don't have one line about my parents. So now you're saying, I'm grateful for you. I'm like, dude, you're off your frickin' rocker. I wasn't thinking this, but I'm sitting with a few hundred people. And I'm going like, I don't know if I can do this. I really don't know if I can do this. And it wasn't easy. So all of you that still haven't forgiven, all of you that have never thanked the people that hurt you, how is that for a step? And he knew I was having problems. So he came up behind me and he said, Robert, yeah, if you could have anything when it deals to this issue, what would you like to have? I would have liked them to say that they love me. And I'd like them to say that they're sorry. Is that such a big thing? Yeah, I don't know. I just would have liked to have been somebody's son. That would have been pretty cool. To do things in my life and have one of my parents there to say, we're proud of you. And, that would have been sort of cool. And he made me step up and he gave me a big hug. And he goes, as you're writing these statements, I need you to pretend that that's never going to happen. What if that never happens? What if the people that you want the most loved for are never going to do it. They don't have the wherewithal, the awareness, the heart, the spirit, the soul to even know they even wronged you. So as much as you were damaged, to actually think that there's people that you want the most from that might not even think they did anything wrong. They just, hey, I'm just doing my best. That's really all I can do. And there was another person that was underneath there that was my ex-wife. So I got married right out of high school. You didn't shack up, and I'm going to trade school. And so we get married. I have my beautiful son, Robert Hollis Jr. He's 18 months old. And all of a sudden she said to me, I don't want to be married to you anymore. And I was like, you're not taking my son. She says, I don't want him. So now I'm a single father, and I'm trying to figure this out. And now that we're separated, pretty much I get told constantly on how many guys she's sleeping with. So here comes that abandonment thing again. This is this common theme in my life where if I let anyone close to me, they're just going to hurt me. They're going to abandon me. They're going to leave. So I did what he told me to do. And it wasn't easy. And it was the best thing I've ever done. People want to know where my motivation comes from. It's, I used to have this 3-ring binder. I still have it in my other office. And it has in there more of these accolades. A lot of people don't know that these are all #1 trophies, this top position. So how many people know you get awards as you go up? And then I started sponsoring, kids in karate and kids in martial arts. And they would go out and win trophies and bring them back to me. There was a time where I easily had like 300 trophies. And it was like, wow, So you help other people make their dreams come true, and then they win awards and they want to give them to you. That's weird. But because I didn't understand that, right? So my whole life has been me putting together a portfolio of things, and I'm still looking for appreciation. I'm still looking for validation. I'm still looking for this little stupid thought in my mind that if I ever met my father, that I would get to show them this whole 3-ring binder of stuff that he should have made sure that he stayed connection with me. Isn't that crazy? So people want to know why I'm so motivated and why I get stuff done. This was a work ethic and a thing that I've been working toward my entire life. So once I figured out this gratitude part, and now I can be thankful for everything. If you guys don't get this one part, things are not going to work for you. They're not going to work for you. If you think that thoughts are things, and every day from the moment you get up, you're going, same crap, different day. And why am I such a worthless human being? And why does everybody hate me? And why, if you start saying those words out of your mouth and you're expecting people to be attracted to you, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm going to say something that's really going to hurt some of you. The universe is protecting people from you. You guys are working your butt off and connecting with the right people. And there's something that tells them, get away from this crazy person as fast as you can. Block them, delete them, don't return their messages, ghost them, run. Because the only way they know how to communicate is the opposite of gratitude. Do you guys know people like this? So you see them on caller ID and you go, my battery's not charged enough for this call. You shake people's hands and you feel the energy run out of your body. They walk into a room and the lights dim. And you know what's the problem with being stupid? If you're stupid, you don't know that you're stupid. The same with this. People that are constantly running like Pigpen in a cloud. You know what I mean? They don't think they're the problem. They think everybody else is the problem. Why is all this stuff happening to me? Why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? And I'll even say to people, right in the middle of their conversation, you don't need to find a reason to not do this. You just need to find one reason why you should. Is there one reason that you think that you should maybe attempt this? 5 years is going to go by anyway. So why not try this? So my mentor seen how much problems I was having with that. And of course, you guys know, this goes down and for me is one of my favorite books. And the reason it became one of my favorite books is because it really, really gets you to understand the things that you're grateful for. Can you hear the words, I love you? Can you see a smile? Eric, you got to mute yourself there. That's okay. And so, you just really think about this stuff and you just go, wow. Because if you would be boldly honest with yourself, today is the day that you'll never have to say again, I just wish I knew what it was that was stopping me from all this greatness, all this happiness, all these riches. And that's you. This points it all down. And so this is where the thoughts come in. I can't. Do you guys realize when I coach people and try to help them, all I'm doing is listening to their language? But this never works for me. Yeah, and it doesn't. So how many of you believe that you could learn to, because I don't know, I'm going to say something and this is open for discussion here. When I dived into the concepts of gratitude, and I never thought of this before till today, but I think this one thing could totally flip personal development on its head. You master gratitude all day, every day while you're daydreaming. And as you're daydreaming, you're grateful for what is coming for you. I don't think you need personal development. I don't think you need to be trained. How many of you have met extremely, extremely successful people and went, I don't think all the cards are there. I think they're missing. I think they're missing a couple of cards. I don't think their elevator goes all the way to the top floor. Here's the thing. They don't know that. They don't know that. So when I hang around mentally challenged people, you know, that have, I don't know the right way to describe it. They're, is it mongoloid? Am I saying it wrong? You know, they got one of
Autistic?
maybe autistic, but you can really see it. You can see it in their face. You know what I mean?
Down
Yeah,
syndrome.
Down syndrome.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, Down syndrome. God, just 1,000% light and love. Isn't it amazing? It's like, you know, they got Down syndrome, and for having Down syndrome, they have the love, the kindness, and the gratitude gene cranked up to 1,000-fold.
Yeah, one of my favorite shows is Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. If you guys haven't watched it, it's so good. You watch two people that are on the spectrum meet and fall in love and like go on dates, and you really see like the organicness of being human, you know, like the very love, kind, but also really honest, you know, and they're really good at like just getting past all the stuff that we all deal with and connect. Like they're so good at just automatic connection in an organic way, and we are the ones that like muddy it up and make it even difficult for them because there's so many layers that we add to ourselves, right? And they're just like right past those layers. They're like, nope, we're not talking to the layers. We're just going to talk to you. So
yeah, it's like you know, we should go to the beach. I don't like the beach. You know what I mean? It's like where the rest of us are like, do I have to pretend that I like the beach? You know what I mean? I don't want this person to feel bad. Maybe I'll go, and then they'll go with me to a place that they hate. It's all this negotiation stuff, and what's so funny is when, hey, we should go to the beach, and it's like, I don't like the beach, and the other person's response, oh, okay, maybe we can go someplace else. It's not, why don't you like the beach? Why don't you ever do? I'll stay out of that. Okay. So the last part I want to cover here is every one of you have been in scenarios when you're grateful and you're really, really grateful. I call it chicken skin. You know, some people call it goosebumps. And when your energy shifts, what if verbally with your mouth, you could be so grateful that you had 100% control of creating chicken skin anytime you wanted to. Right? Because if you really get into it, you know, some people call it praise and worship, you know, but if you're really, really grateful, and again, it's the part of the Jabez prayer for me. But I can't say throughout my prayer is I'm also going to pray the prayer of Jabez. And dear Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, I ask you to bless me this day indeed a lot. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we see athletes do that, but, you know, God forbid, I actually said that. God forbid that, you know, instead of painting your face up and being in 30-degree weather and with no clothes on, you know, cheering for your favorite team, you can't cheer for the connection. Melody and I reached out to her and told her how much I love and how grateful I am for her today before I jumped on here. And we were talking about the little moments that none of us really see. And so Melody's dealing with a bunch of stuff. And I said, so how you doing? She said, greatly blessed, highly favored, and deeply loved. And she said, let me tell you something that happened to me. I said, what's that? And she said, well, I could hear my granddaughter downstairs or my grandchild downstairs. And so she said, you know, because of my eyesight, I'm using a cane and stuff. It took me a while to get down the stairs. And she said, as soon as I hit the bottom step, my grandchild went, you did it. You did it. And I said, wouldn't it have been neat to record that? Because when Craig says my introduction, that's what I hope. I hope and pray that you guys become so grateful and so full of gratitude that you have everyone cheering you on. And the reason that they're cheering you on is because they realize that you're always cheering them on. Can't do that if you aren't grateful. So how about having a team underneath you of people and they're not motivated and they don't get on the training and they don't bring people in and maybe they don't qualify 1 month. How grateful are you to them? How grateful are you for the person that gets in and just for that moment, they believe and they buy some product and then they sort of lost hope or got distracted or have a thing in their life called life going on. Because when I do personal coaching with people, you know how seldom, like if ever, I would go, hey, so tell me how everything's going. I am so grateful to not only be working with you, but I'm grateful for this business that I'm in. And I'm grateful for every person in my group, every one of them. I mean, I'm so thankful and grateful for them. I mention their names during prayer. I pray for their safety and their protection and their abundance. And I pray for, to have their hearts softened so they have ears to hear. Yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about my group. What else? Oh my God, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I'm grateful for the owners, and I'm grateful for the staff, and I'm grateful for the customer service, and I'm grateful for the shipping. No. I get on, well, what's going on? Well, if the company would do this, and if Josh and Jenna would do this, and if my group, God dang, my group is so unmotivated, and they won't do anything. And I'm going like, how many people know what the word cuss means and swear means? See, we think of it as cuss words or swear words, but you're actually putting like a hex, because words are things. And so you're like, the government's messed up, the banking's messed up, everything's messed up, and inflation's messed up, this industry's messed up, the internet's messed up, the Facebook and all of social media, they're messed up, people are messed up. Oh my God. And so what's going on, man? Everyone I reach out to won't respond to me. They're pitching me on other companies. They're trying to date me. They're sending me inappropriate pictures. And I'm going like, no surprise here. Zero surprise here. So I don't know if you guys dove that deep on this chapter. And so what I'm going to do now is not only turn it back to Craig and see if Craig or Matt have anything to say, but I want each and every one of you to know how grateful I am for you. So I'm grateful to you. I love you. Thank you so much for taking the time and getting on here. And for those that are watching, recording, I'm grateful to you. I think the message that we're sharing is really, really going to alter and change some people's beliefs and thoughts. And if they consistently watch it, they can do what I did. And you forget how many people are human. You know what I mean? I'll mess up every once in a while and be going through the channels looking for something to watch. And well, geez, I need to get caught up in the news. It's hard to be grateful watching the news. You know what I mean? It's like, for the love of God, why did I click onto this thing? It's like, can't be grateful for the weather because there's 80,000 people that are about ready to get hit with some kind of bad weather. It's like, wow. So I'm going to also ask each and one of you to do me a huge personal favor for this video, because I know it's going to be watched a lot. Do me a favor and stay on topic today. All right? We're discussing the chapter of gratitude. So just stay on topic today. You know what I mean? I know some of the videos that we've been doing, and it's like, I want to tell you that I talked to this guy and I ended up getting a chicken coop for free. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. But, we're going to be working on breakthroughs after we get through the science of getting rich. We'll start teaching people how to do breakthroughs, and I'll help you. Okay. So today you should be talking about what you're grateful for. Okay. So I just want you guys to know that don't get scared, but I'm going to be watching your language today. And so if you start wavering off gratitude, I'm going to have to spank you a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, because Bill would go, when are you going to quit? No, I'm kidding. It's like some of us get attention from, that's the way that we find out that people care for us, by messing up and getting our butt beat. So yeah, let's not do that. So Greg, to you, Matt, if you got anything to say, please post and let's get this going.
Robert, wow. All right. I'm just going to say I am grateful for you, Robert. I am grateful for this community. I am grateful for this opportunity to share the science of getting rich with everybody, whether you are watching us live or recorded. And it is so important. You've said that, if you have that that attitude of gratitude, you're being grateful for what you have. That is such a great start to moving in a positive direction.
Correct.
And one of the quotes I love from this chapter: the more gratefully we fix our minds on the supreme, and supreme can be your belief, the universe, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever. So the more gratefully we fix our minds on the supreme, when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive. And the more rapidly they will come. And the reason simply is that the mental attitude of gratitude draws the mind into closer touch with the source from which the blessings come.
I not only love that, thank you, Craig, that, we hear that phrase, if you want things to happen to you and happen for you, instead of, I sort of messed up the statement. So instead of having everything happen to you, what if everything happened for you? Right? Just that little shift, and one of the things that is just remarkable about this is, when I read this chapter, I can remember the second or third time I read it. And I thought, wow, we might have some awful politicians, but I would measure these awful, corrupt politicians that are negative and backbiting. And I'm just glad that we have our government instead of another government. So people always ask, how can you be grateful for what you think is awful? Is just think about, well, I could have been born and raised someplace where it could be pretty bad. So everyone wants to complain about their government. They just don't want to compare it to another government. I always tell people, listen, the best thing you need to do is get rich and go travel, because you'll get woke up really quick. It's like, what? All right. So thank you, Craig. Matt, any words?
Yeah, Matt, go for it.
No, I mean, I would just reiterate on what you guys were saying. Like, I really think the more you live in gratitude, especially thinking about, I'm a huge fan of history. I was one of those kids that loved to read history books when I was growing up. I love to watch everything on the History Channel and stuff. So I've always felt really optimistic about the time that I'm living in, because I have so much knowledge and things at my disposal to become the best version of myself. Like, to think just 100 years ago, I might have been on a farm somewhere doing stuff, and that might have been fine and everything, but I really love the wealth of knowledge and stuff that I have at my disposal. And that's just becoming better and better every single year. And the ways to teach yourself are becoming better. The ability to do that and go after what you want is becoming better. Learning who you are. I believe even though we're further away from one another in a lot of ways, we're also more honest than we've been in the past. A lot less people holding on to what's inside and just carrying on and just saying, oh, life's great. People are actually talking about life and going, this could be better or anything like that. And the number one way to get that better is gratitude. When I wake up in the morning, I try to be as grateful as I can be for the life that I have, because it's just, you never really know when things are going to change either. So it's why live in fear constantly when you can live in gratitude and just go with the things as they come to you? One of the things that I really love doing is diving into Stoic beliefs and thinking about, just living life as it comes to you, and living life and processing it as it comes to you, and letting the emotions that you feel at the time, giving them the attention that they deserve, and being grateful that you have them. Because there's people out there that not only are not in touch with their emotions and don't want to cry. There's men out there that are the last thing I'm ever going to do is cry. I just don't ever cry. And these are the people that really hurt people sometimes, it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. And that's because they're living a life of non-gratitude. So I just reiterate what you guys are saying. I love this chapter because we've talked about, this really is the beginning. A lot of the other stuff is no, there's possibility out there. And now we're starting to get into the part of the book that's here's where the possibility is for you in particular. Because the whole first 6 chapters talk about really that you can get these things and that they're achievable. But now, like I said, we're really getting into how. And the first step of that really is gratitude. You really, really have to wake up every single day and be grateful for what you have, even if other people might go, man, your life is awful. It's listen, not as awful as it could be, right? Not as awful as it could be. So, I love the stuff that they're talking about with politicians too. I think it's funny because, like I said, the more that you're into history, the more you realize that, we're not in civil war with each other. We're not half the country you could just go to and visit. There's not half the people fighting each other. So that's pretty nice, right? That wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't. So to think that even in a country where I live, the United States, even though there's discourse, I think the discourse, people are starting to wake up to where it's coming from, which is great. People are really starting to realize, hey, wait a minute, maybe I'm being manipulated here a little bit, but it's better than being told, right? You're wait, I can think about this. It's better than just waking up and being told who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I think you start with this and, everybody has their own process of the way they like to do gratitude.
some of that's outlined in The Science of Getting Rich and in other books on how to accept gratitude and witness it for yourself and do that. I just like to sit, listen to music, and just think of all the awesome shit I'm grateful for every morning. That's how I wake up. So if any of you guys take that and enjoy it, awesome. But I love music, so that's my way. So
Thank you, Matt. I love you.
love you too. Thanks, guys.
Oh, by the way, I'm grateful for you.
Of course, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Craig, everybody here.
All right, Craig, back to you.
All right. Thank you so very much. And all right, I see some hands raised. Let's, as Robert had said, let's get into this about gratitude. Chapter 7, Mastering the Science of Getting Rich. Before we do that, though, I want to remind everybody who's watching on YouTube to please like us, hit the subscribe button, please, so that you can see this, and then hit the subscribe button with the bell, and you'll be notified when new videos come on the channel. And then, of course, not just YouTube, but everybody here in Zoom, when you get off here to go to YouTube, share this video with everybody you know. Please. We really, really appreciate it. I see Bill, Jerome, Pat, John, Dana, your hands are up. Let's get going. Bill Shoemaker, you're the first person. You're doing it again.
Well,
and please share.
I know that I'm gonna say something, so I raised my hand. So I am grateful for you, Craig and Matthew and Robert and everybody on this call. And this is really, really powerful. Robert, thank you for sharing your heart. You know, with the process that you described as part of Alcoholics Anonymous, some of the steps in there, and I went through that because I'm a recovered alcoholic. And my sister is a recovered drug addict, and she used to be so negative. And I took her through the program, and we made amends to each other. And she never complains at all now. Never, not once about anything when she used to complain about everything. So I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for my autistic granddaughter. Her name is Faith. So
Awesome.
yeah, and they're different. They're different. You said that the Down syndrome, they're real feely touchy. Well, autistic, they don't have any compassion or empathy. So it's a different thing. But I am grateful for that because I know now that I can think of a foundation. The faith foundation is already taken, so I can't use that. But so I know the hardest thing for me to forgive in my life and be grateful for was me, for all I did in my life. I really don't have any beef with anybody anymore, but just getting into the state of gratitude has been my biggest challenge up until now.
I love it, man. I love it as you're saying, your ears go,
I'm not, no negative, no. And definitely stay away from the news. That was big. That was my big problem. It's just politics and oh my God. It's like, yeah, I can't go there. Immediate downer. So thank you for this master class. And this is it, gratitude. I mean, imagine how we would be if we were grateful for everything.
It's the world we want to be in. It's the world. If everyone was grateful and for everything, man, it's like relationships, everything. And Bill, thank you. I'm grateful for you, and thank you for bringing up. You know, I was really, really good at talking about a lot of things we should be grateful for, but being thankful for ourselves, you know, being grateful that, we're doing better, you know, that whole concept of believing that you're a miracle is a pretty good step. You're grateful for you. It's probably easy to be grateful for other things. So thank you.
I'm getting gooder and gooder.
Yes, thank you are.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Bill, thank you so very much. Jerome, thank you for being here, for participating. Please open up and share with us.
Yeah, we can. It sounded a little static. Are you guys having trouble hearing him? I am.
Yeah, he sounds like he's in a fish bubble.
No.
Jerome, do us a favor. Can you log out, log back in, and we will get you back on? Yeah, we're not hearing you at all. So please. All right, we're going to go on to Pat Dreyer. And Jerome, once again, please, log out, come back in, and that should take care of it. Thank you so much, and sorry about that. Pat Dreyer, thank you very much. We're grateful that you're here, and please share.
Thank you. Thank Robert, Melody, Matt, everybody here. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of these people in person at one event or another, so it's good to see all these faces out there. Robert, gratitude. When I first came to you, I was working corporate world and had a business on the side, that kind of thing. And when you get to this certain age, you're looking at, you're looking at coming to the end of things.
Yeah.
So you're gonna collect your Social Security, you're gonna collect your 401k, any pensions you have, and then you're gonna go off and you're gonna try to hoard that and try to last as long as you can with it, right?
It's crazy.
Well, that's the world we live in. But I didn't know if I was going to have a purpose after I left, except for being a granddad, a father, that kind of stuff. And once I started practicing gratitude, knowing what was out there, the practice of 5 or 10 in the morning, 5 or 10 at night, and then you find yourself practicing gratitude throughout the day, and then you find yourself practicing it all the time, to the point where, after reading all the books, the ones that you gave me, the Armandino, the Think and Grow Rich, the Science of Grow Rich. And once you start studying and reading these things and you realize what can happen after practicing gratitude, the faith comes to you and you realize that there's so much ahead of me. I don't know if I have time for it all. And so, gratitude is something that needs to be practiced. I know I practiced it before, but it was more as appreciate what you have.
Right. Me too.
And the same thing, I would take my kids to the store and I said, I want you to look around. I want you to notice things while we're going through the store. And they would notice things, a lady that talks into a little microphone on her neck because she's got a hole and all this other stuff, and guy with a gun on his hip. And I asked them about it, and they were just very curious as to why they were doing it. And it's like, you know what? That guy's going to protect us if something happens. And that poor lady over there, thank God she's got that microphone. She could still communicate. And so, we were teaching it to the kids, but didn't realize how powerful gratitude is.
Yeah.
And like I say, once I started really practicing it and it took over, and everything's now I'm grateful for everything. And of course, grateful for Melody. I love her to death. But the gratitude gives you the faith to know that there's so much more ahead of you.
Yes.
And you got so much to learn, and you have so many more people that you can help, that there's purpose out there for us all.
Yep.
And so the other thing you find though is it starts taking, and again, this is part of reading these books and understanding what you can do with it, but being aware of the negative thoughts, rejecting them, replacing them with positive, and then you find that goes the same way that gratitude does, and you start practicing it daily, and you're not thinking any negative thoughts. Everything you look at is on the positive side. And so as you go through that, you're just like, okay, I know for a fact that these books that we read, every word was put there for a reason. Every single word, because as I read them, I get more and more out of them. Every time I read it, I get more and more and more and more. So I know that these books were written for a reason. Every single word that was put in them. So I could go on. I got plenty of other stories I could go.
Well,
grateful
thank you.
But God bless y'all, and thank you so much for letting me do this.
Thank you, Pat. One of the things that I'll just add on, I couldn't agree with you more, is that you know, that phrase that I have, being simplistic as I can, is you'll move forward if you have something to look forward to. And I am so excited about the millions and millions and millions of people that we're going to help. I'm so excited that someone introduced me to someone that could give me this wisdom, and I want to be that for other people. So, yeah. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. And you know what, Pat, you kind of, if I don't, let me just take a moment here, because this is so, I do this all the time. And even when you just do it for a quick minute, it's so cool, especially when other people don't expect it. Say thank you to somebody, even if it's for the smallest thing. A waitress serves you a cup of coffee. Somebody opens the door for you and allows you to pass. These little things, these little thank yous, these little gratitudes, they may not be much, but boy, I know for me, it feels good, because there's not many people out there right now that say thank you enough. And, if we can teach our kids just those words, we're on the path of being grateful right then and there. So thank you for letting me interject a little bit there, because Pat,
Always.
you set it up so perfectly.
I'm grateful that you shared that.
Quick second here. When I was 16 years old, I worked at McDonald's. Okay. When you pass things over the grill, it's like cheese on 12, please. Put 3 on it, please. Thank you. And so it was please and thank you all day long while you're
That's
there.
true, man.
I've taught it to my kids. I've taught it to my grandkids, and I've taught it especially to my daughters that are married. It's like, you be grateful. You say please and thank you, even to your spouse, especially to your spouse, on a daily basis. Anyway, thank you.
Great stuff, Pat.
Pat, once again, thank you. Let's try Jerome one more time. Jerome, go ahead and unmute yourself. I think you tried just a minute ago, and it still sounded a little fluttery. Yeah.
Bro,
It's still there.
Does he have 2 devices on?
I don't see him on here any more than just once. So I don't know what's
Jerome,
causing that.
Not working. Not working.
Yeah, Jerome, you know what, Jerome, if you will, if it's a question, maybe post it in the chat and we'll read it on your behalf. But it does not sound.
Try this, Jerome. I want you to stop your video. Just stop your video and see if we'll hear you on the audio. So just stop your video. No. Nope, that didn't work. I was just trying to think of something. All right.
Yeah, try it again. I'm sorry, Jerome. Thank you, though. I know
we're really grateful for internet speed.
we're grateful for you giving it a shot, Jerome. We're gonna, we'll come back to you once again and give it a try. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, John Tier. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we are grateful for, the fact that we have this forum available for everybody. And you know what? We're going to do our best to get everybody who wishes to share to share. So, John Tier, I think I see you've already opened up.
Yeah.
Your turn. Please share.
Hey, Craig. Robert, I'm grateful for you.
Ditto back at you.
Man, we actually have some similar life experiences. I was in a foster home till I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And my granddad came and got me. I'm so grateful for that, because I'll tell that story another day. But I'm very, very grateful for that, and very, very grateful for the things that he taught me. And to the point where my sister says sometimes, "You sound just like Dad. You sound just like Dad." He was the one that got the humanitarian award, and that's what I kind of aspired to. And so I'm so grateful for that. You talked about being grateful for things that are happening, and you made me think of a song called "Praise Him in Advance." You know, and
Wait,
it's a gospel song.
can you write that down? I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah, yeah. Praise Him in advance.
Praise him in advance. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Nice gospel song. And then I thought about the story of the 10 lepers and how 9 of them left and only one came back, and how his gratitude and his gratefulness not only healed him, but it made him whole.
Yeah.
And that's the power of gratitude. That's all I wanted to say,
Thank you, John. Yeah, it's I think I believe there was a word in this chapter, where we always talk about expecting, expectations. You know what I mean? And when you expect things to be good, you know what I mean? That's when people say, well, that's unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right up until the things I got them.
Like, well, I'd rather shoot for the moon and land on the skyscraper than shoot for the gutter and hit it.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think I've ever said that. It's like, hey, you could be pretty good at hitting some really low goals for your life. It's like, like people's like, hey, you know what? I didn't pass on too much debt to my kids. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like people drive around with bumper stickers. I spent all my grandkids as inheritance.
Yeah.
So thank you, John. I love you, man.
Right. Thank you. Love you too, brother.
Thank you so much, John. I did find it. It's the song by Marvin Sapp. Okay, great. I posted that in the chats. So both YouTube and Zoom people, you have it right there. Take a listen. All right. You know what, Dana, you're next in line, but I think, Robert, what do you think? Just wait, save him for a little bit more.
You and Matt are the producers and directors. I agree.
Okay, Dana, please hold on. I know you seem to put quite the button on everything. So we love you. We appreciate you. Hang on. Don Fielder. So I see your hand is raised. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead and please share with us.
Hi, it's Mike Fielder. It's my brother, but I'm Mike.
Sorry,
And I'm just grateful for you, Craig. I'm grateful for you, Matt. I'm grateful for you, Robert. Back in the day, I used to be involved in with Sherry and Buck back in the company, but it was 98, 2000, something like that. And they used to talk about you, about this amazing guy. And I told myself, I always want to be somewhere down the line of partners in business with Robert. And here I am. And I just want to thank you. And also, I'm a bilateral amputee recent, and I just went blind recently due to a brain tumor. But I'm all healthy now, or getting better. And I'm just want to say I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to my girlfriend, Angela McKenzie. And I just want to get that off my chest and just let everybody know that, and I feel great.
Thank you so much for being on here, and grateful for you. And did you notice how you said I'm really healthy now, and then your mind went sorta. And I ask each and every one of you to be conscious of the other little voices in there. It's like, oh my God, I am jacked up. I'm excited. I every day is going to be better. Well, I guess they'll be okay. It's like, as soon as you stop, that enthusiasm, that excitement, man, those little voices are there. It's scripture in every religion that the evil comes to steal the word immediately. not in a week from now. So of course, then look for that. You know, that's the way we were trained in martial arts, that, you know, you hit somebody, there might be some return fire. So just watch your language. Watch, and it's funny, I sound like a parent there for a little bit. Mike, you need to watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like, but it's like, wow, isn't it amazing? As soon as we start talking and our ears get to hear it, and we're going, man, things could never be better. Really? It's like those dinos come flying from everywhere and just go, yeah, you know, just rebuke them and keep speaking positive things. You know what I mean? How many people think that gratitude and being in gratitude all the time, like Pat described, how many of you think that would pretty much eliminate the reason for saying I am? You know, you remember the I am statements? You know, so again, we hear those, and I did those, and it's like you turn around and you go, you know, I'm a millionaire. And it's like every fiber in your body goes, you're such a joke. You're such a joke right now. I am debt free. Whatever. But when you're doing grateful, right? I'm so happy and grateful. Fill in the blank. And that's a little different. I'm so happy and grateful that each and every one of you are on here. I'm happy and grateful that this is going to continue to expand, and thousands and the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people will see this. And they're going to reach out to the people that are on this, that are participating, saying, hey, Mike, John, Bill, Corky, Donica, you know, it's like, hey, I seen you on this. If you're hanging around this guy, because everybody thinks that everybody reaches out to me. They don't. They don't, because they probably seen an episode of me and Bill or me and Lisa. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, if you're being negative and you jump into that hole, so maybe if I just reach out and talk to Pat will be nice all the time. Has a little more patience. So, okay. You want to try Jerome again?
Yeah, but first of all, I want to give Mike an opportunity here, because with all due respect, Mike, I had to cut you off because there was a lot of background noise. Is there anything else that you wanted to share before we move on? Go ahead and unmute yourself if so.
Want to say I love you all, and thank you.
Love you. I'm glad that the powers to be connected us, my new brother.
Thank you so much, Mike, and thank you for understanding why I had to kind of put you on mute there during that part of the conversation. All right, Jerome, we're gonna give it one more shot. There it is. Let's go ahead, try to unmute yourself, and let's hear what happens.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh yes,
yeah, we're grateful.
Isn't it, buddy? Third time's a charm. I was gonna say that. I was going like, yeah, third time's a charm.
No, what I did was
share with us, Jerome.
Oh, no problem. I'm grateful. First of all, I praise God for all you. I'm grateful for all you. What I did was I turned off my phone and just rebooted my phone, and so it worked. So I praise God, and I'm grateful for that happened.
Now, while you were doing that, was there any thoughts going, come on, work this time,
no,
come on?
No, because I like to stay positive. You know, my thing is, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
I was praying. I was like, please let me go before Professor Dana.
There we go.
I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm right before Professor Dana. Thank you, Jesus. No, but this past weekend and yesterday, Pastor Bishop Walker in Nashville. Think of it, Nashville, because we were going to be there in June. His thing was about gratitude, and he had his sermon about gratitude. And when you have gratitude, your foundation is stronger.
Oh,
and
always.
Yeah, and he also talked about when you're building your tent, you don't build your tent with tacks. You build your tent with long stakes. And he was going through the analogy of, when something goes wrong, if you have tacks as you're holding your tent, it's your stuff's gonna fall. Everything's gonna fall. So it ties into what we're doing. And I was just thinking, and as I got older, I got away from, the negative talk. Of course, I'm human. It happens once in a while, but what I do nowadays is I'm grateful when I first wake up, and also when I go to sleep. I'm grateful for the day I have, and I'm grateful for the new day, and for him, for God, for watching over me and my wife, as we slept and we slumbered and rested our bodies. And I'm grateful for all my friends, all of you, of course. I love all of you. And I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for new opportunities I haven't seen yet. So my faith is strong. And I'm also grateful for being born and raised in Iowa, because I've been to the Field of Dreams in person 3 times, and it's magical. So if you ever have a chance to go there, you got to go there, because you'll see it on the movie. The movie is great, but when you see it in person, it takes everything to a whole nother level. So
when I visit it, you're taking me.
Yeah, it's that we're going to Dyersville. It's northeastern Iowa, near Dubuque, Iowa. So
I'll just ask you the closest airport, and then you can navigate from there.
The closest airport would be Cedar Rapids.
Okay, cool.
Let me take that lie back. It's Dubuque. Dubuque is going to be the nearest airport.
Where's the closest? I would need you to do research for me and find out where the closest private airport is.
Ooh. Let me get back to you. I think, you know what? I think it's either.
Don't think. Research.
I think it's either Dubuque or Decorah. I'll let you. I got you.
All right.
So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all you. I love all you. And we're family now.
We are. Yeah, we are. We're gonna make a big ripple. Big giant rock jumps in the water, and just these ripples going.
That's right. Right.
Similar to what's happening behind Professor Dana.
That's right. Yeah, I'm grateful that I'm not speaking after the professor. So
there you go.
I love y'all.
Love you too, Jerome. Thank you so much for continuing to try until you succeeded. That's the goal. All right. Awesome.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
Jerome, thank you so very, very much. Okay. So in baseball, they call him the cleanup hitter when he's batting fourth at the bottom. He's right there. The bases are loaded. We want to bring the runs home, and he's got the river with the flow right behind him. Let's go ahead and ask Professor. It sounds like we're going to start calling you Professor Dana Scranton. Open up and please share with us.
Well, thank you, Craig, and I'm very grateful for that introduction, although I don't consider myself a professor. I've been professed to many times. But I'm grateful for this community and this mastermind that you guys have created. It's really
you like Dr. Scranton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Dr. Dana. I like Dr. Dana.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes, somebody come up to you, well, what do I take for a cold? I said, wrong, doctor. Yeah, you talk to somebody else about that. But gratitude, this book, many, many years ago, I read it, and I just like many people, I read it and thought, oh, that's interesting. And several years ago, when Robert was teaching his other courses through his website, that voluminous video compilation of all the lessons that you had taught. One of them was, of course, your recordings of the Science of Getting Rich. And so I went back and read the book, and because of that particular series of instructions that you created, the gratitude element of that popped out at me, which in the past, it was just noise. And because of that, I've become more aware. For example, if you go take a look at Matthew 13:12, I think it's 13:12, it's going out of memory. That is actually about gratitude. And, I don't know if I could look it up on the internet, I won't. But basically what it says is, even those who have much will receive more if they believe, and those who have nothing will have it all taken away from them.
Wow.
Well, that's got to do with gratitude. Gratitude is a foundational state of being. And what I have discovered, and always getting gooder and gooder, better and better, is gratitude is the foundational state that connects you, like Waddle said, harmoniously with the universe. So a couple of sessions back, I talked about the universe has no time, it has states. And those states are states of possibilities that you access through belief, through the way you think and the way you act. Gratitude is the foundational element that structures your thinking and your actions. And that seems like a really steep and unattainable objective for some people. But I want to come back to, I think, what Pat said. It's as simple as a thank you.
Yes.
Because one of the issues that I've run into with family members who don't have the concept of gratitude is they believe that gratitude is something you've got to go jump up and down and say, yippee, yippee, look what happened to me, I'm so grateful for. But it's an accumulative phenomenon. It's a compounding phenomenon, like a penny doubled every day. Every thank you you say is an energy, a resonance, something that permeates your subconscious mind. And the more you say it, the more your mind believes that you're grateful. Because thank you, this is my interpretation, is merely a socially acceptable means of expressing your gratitude to someone else. Because if you say, I'm grateful for you, they're going to go, dude, we're not even dating yet. But a thank you works. And it gets them thinking. And you're right, thank you is kind of missed in a lot of our interactions in society today. In fact, when you say thank you, people look at you weirdly as well. But that's a good means of accumulating a penny doubling every day for you and for the people that you interact with. So it's a compounding phenomenon that, as Pat said, if you just bring it into your life on a regular basis, pretty soon it's like you can't imagine being without it. So that's that part of it. The other element that I wanted to kind of cover today is some of the publications that are out there. Everything in personal development is not about gratitude, although it should be. But there's a couple of books that I'll just mention with you off the top of my head. One of them is an offshoot of The Secret, and it's called The Magic. Now, the reason I mention that book is because it goes through several days, I think it's 26 days of gratitude exercises in different forms. But fundamentally, what it teaches is different ways to remind yourself to be grateful, different ways to bring gratitude into your life, to make it a habitual phenomenon. But more than that, it's about awareness. When you become habitually grateful, but even on the way there, the journey, the accumulation of gratitude, you start to become aware of the things that are happening in your life and the influence you have on others. Whereas before, you were just begrudgingly living with these goofballs that, screw up your life. Well, all of a sudden you start to see them not as goofballs, but as, happy balls, puff balls. But it's about awareness, that particular book. The other book that's kind of interesting, it's called The Last Law of Attraction Book You'll Ever Need to Read by Andrew Kapp. And what that book is, it's a series of exercises on how to be grateful. You write stuff down, you think stuff, you visualize stuff, and it's law of attraction is what it's talking about. But foundationally, what it's all about is how to bring gratitude into your life every day, how to react to situations in life with gratitude, with an immediate system to counteract the emotional wave that hits you from some negative phenomenon. So I found those two books to be kind of interesting and useful, and might want to check those out. The other is forgiveness. You mentioned forgiveness, and that was covered in church, probably 3 or 4 months ago. But like the AI overview of the science of getting rich, after the sermon, I went up to the preacher and I said, well, what was missing out of all this? Well, what's that? Gratitude. You were mentioning forgiveness. You were going over it and the power of it and the way it releases you from the animosity and the anger and the emotions and all that stuff. But what about gratitude? Don't you think maybe forgiveness is a form of gratitude? Well,
Yeah.
it is now.
Yeah. I mean, I think about a lot of people that I've heard that have told me that they forgave, the person that they felt wronged them, but they didn't take it to that exercise where I'm grateful for the way you treated me. It's like, what? It's like, that's a whole different level. And there might be some people that but I always think that, we always want life to be a certain way. And then, Garth Brooks, thank God for unanswered prayers. You know what I mean? It's like, we're always mentally in our mind thinking that we know what we need or what we want best, not understanding. And it was funny. I put gratitude in the Bible while you were talking, Dana, and I posted it in the chat. And I thought it was pretty interesting. Always be rejoicing and giving thanks for everything. Mm-hmm. First of all, Thessalonians 5:16. I thought, people that are real literal when it comes to Bible, you know what I mean? I would love your interpretation of always. If the Bible is 100% correct, I want you to see always be rejoicing and giving thanks for everything. So the two key words there would be always and everything, right? A lot of people would be like, sometimes, and only these people. Sometimes, and not that thing that happened to me. And it's like, I know it's difficult, but Dana, again, you brought us home. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And
you're welcome.
Yeah. God, what a great one. We're going to close this down, man. Let's close this down right here. And Craig, I love and appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And I know a lot of you might hear that would probably be a whole different video, but some of you need to learn to receive. So if you got that little voice where someone says, you know what, thank you, you look beautiful, I'm grateful for you, and that voice shows up, yeah, that's a crock of BS. And, I'm looking at some of your faces, and some of you, they're just all saying they're grateful for me. If they only knew me. If they only knew how messed up I am. If they only knew. It's like, no, I'm grateful for you anyway. Regardless of what you think about yourself, I'm grateful for you and I love you. Greg, back to you.
Thank you so much. And Dana, one more time, what was the name of that second book? Just because people were asking about that.
Yeah, the second book is let me see. I'm just going to make sure I got the title right. Just feel good. Let me hold on 1 second. Let me pull up my.
Ooh, he had his notebook open.
Yeah, I'm open a notebook here. It's yeah, Just Feel Good by Andrew Capp. He wrote both those books. The other one, of course, the secret offshoot was The Magic.
Yeah, that one I got. I will find the link to get Just Feel Good so that that's also posted in the chats. And
what that is,
I
by the
always-
way, just real quickly, I'll just tell you what that book is. It's written by the same author, but what he did is he genericized the law of attraction. In other words, it's not even mentioned but a couple of times in that book. Instead, he says, look, it's all about just feeling good. And
Yeah.
Robert alluded to that on a couple of 4 or 5 sessions ago.
Yep.
okay, that's awesome. And I've got the link here.
You're,
and
you're
I'll
watching. You're watching the movie The Secret. The Secret. They do all the talking, and at the very end, Rhonda Byrne writes "Feel Good" in the sand, and everybody's like, "I wonder what the secret is." All right, here's your sign. Okay, Craig. Thank you,
All
Dana. And thank all of you. Love and appreciate you. So grateful for you.
and thank you for giving me a few moments there while I put everything together so that we had I was able to put the link to that book as well into the chat. So I wanted to make sure that we had that. You know, this has been, I am grateful for this day, for this chapter, for this group, for everyone here, everyone watching, and for you, Robert. I want to say thank you. Of course, also I'm grateful to Bill Shoemaker, Jerome Marshall, Pat Dreyer, John Tier, Mike Fielder, Dana Scranton, and for contributing to this amazing share of the day. And Matthew Hollis, I am so grateful for you, for being our foundation. You and Rue are just right there helping us move forward every single day and every single way. And thank you for watching, for being a part of this. Tomorrow, we will move on to chapter 8. And this is something that we always talk about that Robert stresses when he says success leaves clues and documentation beats conversation. Because Robert is thinking in the certain way. That's chapter 8. That's where we're going next. And that's how important this is, to be here with us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, right here, YouTube, on YouTube, roberthollis.com/YouTube. If you want to join us tomorrow, we'll have it all set up shortly where you can join us here on Zoom, roberthollis.com/live. Please join us. We appreciate your time. We love you. We thank you. Please be good to yourself. Be cash. Bye-bye. I'm going to share, unmute for everybody as we say so long for today.
Thank you, everybody. Love you all.
Thank you. Love you
Bye,
guys.
everyone. See you
Thank you,
later.
everybody.
Yeah.
Love you, everybody.
John, thanks, Linda, Melody, Daniel, Linda, and now Dustin, Mike, Matthew, Rue, Eric.
Let's make it a great week, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mary, Karen, Carmen, Donica,
Thank you.
Chapter 8 is going to be great. Yeehaw.
Rome, Craig, Bill, James.
Thank you, Melody.